I'm in COVY'S Emporium of Awesome. Today on another Vincent's Voice movie review, I'm going to review the movie Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So this is a sequel to the first movie of Venom, which the first one I was quite surprised because I thought that the way that Venom looked was really cool, and that I really enjoyed it. Also, it had a really poor villain and stuff like that. But overall, I really liked the movie. Like I said, this one takes place after the first movie, and also a little while afterwards. It introduces also a bunch of new characters. Also, it was teased at the other movie and stuff about Carnage coming and stuff like that. It was new symbiote and also in this movie, played also by Woody Harrelson for Cletus Cassidy. Let's go into what I liked about this movie first of all. Like I said, I think this movie was just so-so, and that. But I thought that Carnage looked really cool, just like Venom. So it looked really cool. So I think they did a really good job. I think Carnage looked really cool in this movie. I think they could have done a little bit less of all the like tentacle things going on. Could have dialed it down a bit and all that stuff. Cause sometimes it's hard on stuff to see what's going on a little bit. But overall, I think he looked really cool. He did a lot of really cool things with Carnage, how he looked. What else? I thought Woody Harrelson playing Cletus Cassidy was done pretty well. Like I said, they changed his hair from the end of the first movie, which was really good. And that, so he looked a bit better in it. And I thought what he had was, as a character, was good. And that. There is an end credit scene in this, and I think that was one of the best parts about the movie, is getting to that end credit scene stuff. I'm not going to spoil it, so you can watch it. It just kind of goes into where they might be going with this franchise and stuff in the future, which could be exciting, hopefully, depending on the way that they go. Fortunately, there's not much other good in this. Like I said, there were some jokes that were good. They had some jokes and stuff, but I think one of the bad things was there was too many jokes. Like they had Venom started doing a bunch of jokes and stuff like that, like in the first one, which, in my opinion, like I say, and in this one, I don't like the way they're doing like that with Venom. Like when I see him, I don't see him as like joking around, kind of like Spider-Man. He's not supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be more serious. In this one, it's joke after joke after joke after joke, like all the time, and like 90% of them don't hit. They don't make you laugh or chuckle or anything else up. There's like ee kind of things. There are a few that are good, and I wish they would have just had a few of them like that in it more than trying to get a ton of them. I did not like that part. I thought that this movie needed to be rated R. I think that would have helped a lot with it. Also, I think it was only PG-13, which made it so the violence and stuff like that had to be dialed down quite a bit. Like, there's still a lot of cool fight scenes and stuff like that in it. It's not as jumble mess like in the first one, also against like Riot and then that. You can actually see what's kind of going on also with a lot of them, which is really good, and that you get to appreciate also the symbiotes more that way also. But it needs to be rated R also to really show how brutal Carnage was. And I thought that they did not really do that very good, either with the Cletus Cassidy character or Carnage. Because Cletus Cassidy is supposed to be like a complete psychopath murderer, and I don't think they portray that well in this movie. But they talk about what he did, and they kind of show what he did as a child and stuff like that, but they did it in like a cartoon form, and that, which was like, it didn't work at all. It's just all cartoony and stuff. It's like, okay, so he did this when he was a kid. Who cares? So that doesn't tell me, it doesn't show me and stuff like that. And also that the Cletus Cassidy character is super brutal and stuff like that, which is why Carnage is also, when he's the symbiote's on him, is so brutal. And when he was fighting and killing guys, like, yeah, he was killing lots of guys and doing lots of things, but a bunch of it was off screen. So he would throw a guy and stuff like that, stuff, or stab or slice or do things like that, behead or do different things like that to people, but you wouldn't see the gore. Like, I know you don't need the gore, but I think for a character like this, you need to appreciate it and know how brutal it is compared to Venom, and that you need to see some of that brutality stuff for the to feel and stuff like that. Like, wow, this guy on stuff is which are so much worse stuff overall. So I wish they would have done that. I think that would have came over much better. I thought the way that they introduced or how Cletus Cassidy got the symbiote in the first place was super dumb. I'm like, really, that's the way on stuff that it got it? Like, it doesn't have to be complicated stuff for the guy to get it, but for the way that they did it, I thought it was dumb. I did not like it on stuff at all. That is not how it happens in the comic, and it doesn't need to be comic accurate. Like, things don't need to be that, but they need to make sense. And this was just a stupid stuff cop out way stuff to do it, to make it so it was just an easy way to get it. So he has, all of a sudden he has the symbiote, and I didn't like that stuff at all. What else stuff didn't I care for stuff? I didn't care for the continued thing with Venom. Like in the first movie stuff, they're between Venom and Eddie Brock stuff. They have a conflict, and that stuff trying to, which we got, be more cohesive and things like that throughout the movie stuff, and that's fine in the first one. And then towards the end, they become more combined, more symbiotic and stuff like that together and stuff. And I wish they would have just continued from that in this movie, but they didn't. They made them made conflict between them again, stuff throughout like 3/4 of the movie. Again, before they're like, oh, by the way, also we actually are and stuff like that, perfect together. So I thought that was a complete waste and stuff like that. They should have just shown them stuff being that synergetic and stuff like that, stuff being like that from the whole thing, not conflicting on stuff like they were. So I thought that was, I didn't like that also. Too much time also was spent on that part of it. So yeah, like I saying, overall, like I saying, it was an okay watch. Like I saying, also if you don't want to think about it much and stuff and things like that, then it was Milo. Then it'll be okay. But like I say, I think overall and stuff they dropped the ball. There's so much potential and stuff with these type of characters, and that, and the way that they did it and stuff. I don't know stuff. It also felt rushed. It was not a very long movie. It felt rushed. They needed more time on stuff in it. They needed to cut a bunch of things and stuff like that, and just it's funny. They needed more time, but I needed them to cut it and streamline it. So that's kind of an oxymoron there and stuff. But I need them to do better stuff with the characters, both with Venom and with Carnage and stuff like that. There's such a great rivalry and stuff and story and stuff like that they can do with these characters. And I think they just dropped the ball on stuff on it and stuff. I was really looking forward to it and stuff because of the way that it looked, and it was just meh. It was just, like I was saying, stuff. Overall, initially I wanted to give it like a 6 out of 10, but after thinking about it and talking like this more, I think it's going to be a 5 out of 10. I think it's going to be a movie and stuff that you don't really need to see and all stuff in that. I don't believe all stuff it's going to, I don't know what they're going to go with this. I don't know how it's going to continue on after this, but I hope however it does is better in some way. Stuff it's got to be better on stuff than this stuff. There's so much that they can do. And this movie on stuff, which is a disappointment. Honestly, on stuff I don't recommend going to see it. It's not terrible bad. Like there are some good moments and stuff like that and stuff. Things look cool. There are some cool fight scenes and that also. There's some cool interactions here and there, but it's not enough stuff for me to go out and recommend. Like definitely wait for this stuff to come onto some kind of TV thing and stuff. I wouldn't. It's not necessary to go see it in the theater, things like that. But so overall and stuff like that, there's my review also of Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Thank you for watching the videos. So please like and subscribe down below also to see the next movie reviews that are coming out. And you can please comment down below if you want me to review a certain movie that I haven't yet. It could be a new movie, could be an old movie. So I like watching all types of movies. So until the next movie review, thank you very much and have a good day. My mouse is not working.